All I wanted was a Scrum tool that I would enjoy using. I was grumpy about something to do with Jira, and I started thinking about how a modern Scrum team would manage itself without it. I mean, originally most Scrum teams just used a whiteboard. And I had a thought. You know, one of those niggling thoughts you can't quite shake, so you've got to do something about it, even though you know it's a terrible idea that you're pretty certain only you would like. What if I could shove all my cards into Markdown files? What if I could then do all the Scrum things with my text editor and a command line? So I did what anybody struck by a niggling thought like that would do. I wanted to see what such a tool might look like, so I started writing ScrummMD. Hi, I'm Lachlan Kingsford, the author of ScrummMD. I'm a Scrum.org certified Scrum Master, but nowadays I spend most of my day creating software. It is worth noting that in relation to ScrummMD, I'm on a frolic of my own, and neither this video nor this tool represent the work or opinion of my employers. The Scrum Guide says that a Scrum team is supposed to be self-managing. Now, since I spend so much time writing code, there are some ramifications. I love text files. I love text files. You can do anything with text files. You can store them how you want. You can modify them to your heart's content. You can version track them in Git. You can throw them into Pandoc and turn them into pretty much any format. Heck, my wife has been witness to me using Visual Studio Code to write song lyrics with my Vim key bindings. I love the terminal. Sure, you can give me an API and I can write some code and connect to it, but let's face it, almost every tool aimed at non-programmers really wants you to use the GUI. I like my data being local. Now, this might sound a bit weird to some of you, but I've been spoiled by Git. Turns out that I actually like having a local copy of my data to work on and then explicitly choosing how to share it around. And I suspect, at least as a programmer, I'm not alone in those 3 points. See, the more I worked on my tool and the more I thought about it, the more I realized that it was actually something kind of funky. It was admittedly niche, but I wanted it. After all, a self-organizing team of people, if they're like me, might actually really prefer to manage their Scrum boards using tooling that they're actually comfortable with. And so we get ScrummMD, a tool for self-organizing teams. Now, ScrummMD is already freely available. So if you've got Python 3.10 or higher, you can go pip install it right now. It's GPL licensed, so if the text files aren't enough, you can go hack away at it at your heart's content. Documentation is already available on readthedocs.io and will be linked to this video. Now, you've heard my thought process. What are the ramifications of my decisions? Text means that you can do things like include your cards and tickets with the repos that they affect. There's nothing even stopping your team managing them with Git or using submodules to have them in multiple repos at once. You can chain things together. You can run stand-up by getting a list of cards that are in the current sprint. You can group them by status, just show the paths of the cards and load them all in Vim to go through. And then you can split the screen and call SBoard to show the board with watch to update as you're going. You can customize your configuration to your team's needs with a text configuration file that you can version track too. So needing a status to be on every story card and always having it being ready for development in progress or done. And the customizability means there's nothing stopping you using it anywhere. So whether you're tracking a collection of cards that might be helpful, so issues, support tickets, a Kanban board, test cases, documented decisions. It means that a developer theoretically never actually needs to leave their console or their text editor to be part of the Scrum process. So this means that they can better maintain a flow state when, for instance, they're checking or updating the requirements for a card that they're implementing. There is another ramification. You will make people uncomfortable. And you will challenge them based on the idea of a self-managing team. Now, I'm confident that the tools are simple enough that a Scrum Master, or Scrum Lead if your company calls them that, or a product owner with some technical experience will be able to work with ScrummMD. But it is very specifically optimized for a team to work closely together. An organization that applies metrics between teams or performs Scrum at scale might struggle to adapt to a tool that is so use this as you see it fit. But there is actually nothing in the tool that prevents it, and particularly given how friendly the formats are to being parsed or distributed by other tools, it's entirely possible you can use it that way. So, if you're in a technical agile team or you're responsible for a technical agile team, you might want to give ScrummMD a shot. I am proud of this little tool I've made, and I'm already using it, and you might like to use it too. So thank you very much.